Good day to all. Today is a beautiful day to start a new day and a great opportunity to learn new things. Everyone, this is Saki Ilyama, a second year BS Ed English student of Negros Oriental State University, Shatan Campus, your discussant for today. For today's discussion, I will be tackling one subtopic of microlinguistic and macrolinguistic, specifically pragmatics and developmental linguistic. But before I'll proceed to the main topic, I'm going to share first the objectives that will be achieved at the end of the discussion. At the end of the lesson, we will be able to define pragmatics and developmental linguistics, identify the importance of two subfields in linguistics, expand one's knowledge of the two subfields. This time, I will give you a quick background about linguistics and its two subfields, microlinguistics and macrolinguistics. So, linguistics is a broad term that refers to the study of human language from a scientific perspective. A science because it is methodical, employs research, observation, and experimentation, and aims to discover the nature and principles of language. The study is divided into two broad fields, which are microlinguistics and macrolinguistics. Microlinguistics is a branch that studies the nature of language, that is, what a language is all about and how it works. Under this branch are namely phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics, and pragmatics. Macrolinguistics is a branch that focuses on language acquisition and application in daily life experiences. Under this branch includes social linguistics, psycholinguistics, computational, historical, comparative, structural, biolinguistics, applied, clinical, developmental linguistics, neurolinguistics, stylistics, etymology linguistics. In microlinguistics, I will focus on pragmatics and developmental linguistics in macrolinguistics. Now, what is pragmatics? Pragmatics is a branch of linguistics concerned with the use of language in social contexts and the ways people produce and comprehend meanings through language. The term pragmatics was coined in the 1930s by psychologist and philosopher Charles Morris. Pragmatics was developed as a subfield of linguistics in 1970s. The two primary disciplines of linguistics that focus on the study of language and meaning are pragmatics and semantics. The key distinction is that semantics is concerned with the conceptual meaning of words and phrases, whereas pragmatics is concerned with their contextual meaning. Pragmatics is concerned with meaning beyond the surface of or literal level, that is, with the speaker's intended meaning rather than the literal meaning of the statement. Pragmatics in linguistics and philosophy. It is the study of the use of natural language in communication. More generally, the study of the relations between languages and their users. Pragmatics focuses not on what people say, but how they say it and how others interpret their utterances in social contexts, says Geoffrey Finch in Linguistic Terms and Concepts. Utterances are literally the units of sound you make when you talk, but the signs that accompany those utterances give the sounds of their true meaning. Examples: pragmatics in action. You invited your friend over for dinner. Your child sees your friend reach for some cookies and says, "Better not take those or you'll get even bigger." You can't believe your child could be so rude. In a literal sense, the daughter is simply saying that eating cookies can make you gain weight. But due to the social context, the mother interprets that sentence to mean that her daughter is calling her friend fat. The first sentence in this explanation refers to the semantics, not the literal meaning of the sentence. The second and third refer to the pragmatics, the actual meaning of the words as interpreted by a listener based on social context. Another example is when you talk with a neighbor about his new car. He was trouble staying on topic and starts talking about his favorite TV show. He doesn't look at you when you talk and doesn't laugh at your jokes. He keeps talking even when you look at your watch and say, "Wow, it's getting late." You finally leave thinking about how hard it is to talk with him. In this scenario, the speaker is just talking about a new car and his favorite TV show. But the listener interprets the signs the speaker is using, not looking at the listener and not laughing at his jokes, as the speaker being unaware of the listener's views and monopolizing his time. You've likely been in this kind of situation before, where the speaker is talking about perfectly reasonable, simple subjects but is unaware of your presence and your need to escape. While the speaker sees the talk as a simple sharing of information, it is the semantics. You see as the root of monopolization of your time, it is the pragmatics. Another example, if you eat all of that food, it will make you bigger. Semantically, bigger in this sentence would mean larger that you are currently. Think about how this sentence pragmatically would mean something different depending on the context. If it is said to a young child pragmatically, it would mean to grow bigger. If it is said to a grown person who is already obese, it would mean something entirely different. The importance of pragmatics. David Lodge, writing in the Paradise News, says that pragmatics gives humans a fuller, deeper, and generally more reasonable account of human language behavior. Without pragmatics, there is no often understanding of what language actually means, or what a person truly means when she is speaking. The context, the social signs, body language, and the tone of voice, it is the pragmatics is what make utterances clear or unclear to the speaker and her listeners. That's all with pragmatics, and let's move on to developmental linguistics. Developmental linguistics is a branch of linguistics that analyzes how a person's language capacity develops through time, particularly in children. It focuses on how toddlers learn to communicate in a variety of situations, such as the acquisition of syntax and other linguistic skills during childhood. From birth up to the age of 5, children develop language at a very rapid pace. The stages of language development are universal among humans. However, the age and the pace at which a child reaches each milestone of language development vary greatly among children. Thus, language development in an individual child must be compared with norms rather than with other individual children. In general, girls develop language at a faster rate than boys. More than any other aspect of development, language development reflects the growth and maturation of the brain. After the age of 5, it becomes much more difficult for most children to learn language. Receptive language development is the ability to comprehend language. Usually develops faster than expressive language, the ability to communicate. Two different styles of language development are recognized. In inferential language development, children first speak single words and then join words together, first into 2-word sentences and then into 3-word sentences. In expressive language development, children first speak in long, unintelligible babbles that mimic the cadence and rhythm of adult speech. Most children use a combination of these styles. Now, here are the stages of language development. Infancy. Infants are acutely attuned to the human voice and prefer it to other sounds. In particular, they prefer the higher pitch, characteristic of female voices. They also are very attentive to the human face, especially when the face is talking. Although crying is a child's primary means of communication at birth, language immediately begins to develop via repetition and imitation. The following are the language events that takes place in infancy. Begin to coo, make vowel-like sounds such as oo and ah, vocalize different sounds for different needs, communicate desires with gestures, babble for attention, mimic sounds, inflections, and gestures. Make many new sounds including P, B, and M that may sound almost speech-like. Use mama and dada for any person. Next is toddlerhood. During the second year of life, language development proceeds at very different rates of different children. By the age of 12 months, most children use mama or dada appropriately. They add new words each month and temporarily lose words. Children constantly produce sentences that they have not heard before, creating rather than imitating. This creativity is based on general principles and rules of language that they have mastered. By the time a child is 3 years of age, most of a child's speech can be understood. However, like adults, children vary greatly in how much they choose to talk. Next is preschool. Language skills usually blossom between 4 and 5 years of age. Children of this age can do the following: verbalize extensively, communicate easily with other children and adults, articulate most English sounds correctly, know 1,500 to 2,500 words. In school age, 6 years old usually can correct their own grammar and mispronunciations. Most children double their vocabularies between 6 and 8 years of age and begin reading at about age 7. A major leap in reading comprehension occurs at about 9. 10 years old begins to understand figurative word meanings. Adolescents generally speak in adult manner, gaining language maturity throughout high school. The common problem of language development is language delay, the most common developmental delay in children. There are many causes for language delay, both environmental and physical. About 60% of language delays in children under age 3 resolve spontaneously. Early intervention often helps other children to catch up to their age group. Parental concerns of language development. Language development is enriched by verbal interactions with other children and adults. Parents and caregivers can have a significant impact on early language development. That was Pragmatics in Microlinguistics and Developmental Linguistics in Macrolinguistics. Thank you for watching and listening. I hope you have learned something. Have a great day ahead.